In the third section of our lecture, now we will discuss the chronic encephalitis. In this chronic encephalitis, the condition which we will talk about is the progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy, which is the chronic encephalitis, how it presents the PML, we will say progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy. What are the clinical features associated with this and the pathology, and also how we diagnose this condition, what are the different serological studies that can be done, and how we treat this condition. So chronic encephalitis, which is progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy. Clinical features are there is progressive, it progresses because it's chronic, multifocal, different foci of infection, not just one, multifoci. And leuko, it's for the white, encephalopathy. Condition of brain, encephal is brain, pathy is disease, so encephalopathy. There are multifocal areas of demyelination present also. Myelin sheath, myelin fibers are the covering of the nerves. When there is demyelination, the nerves, they are very sensitive, they are exposed, so this can be present, multifocal areas of demyelination. And also there is cytologic alteration in astrocytes and oligodendrocytes. These are the cells present in the nervous system, in the brain, and astrocytes and oligodendrocytes. There are changes in these cells. Cytological, cellular changes are present. Progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy, how it presents, what are the clinical features. We have the astrocytes, they become large, deformed, and bizarre nuclei are present. Oligodendrocytes, what happened to them? Again, they are enlarged, densely staining nuclei are present. Then viral inclusions by crystalline area of JCV are present. Visual deficits like homonymous hemianopia, mental impairment like dementia, confusion, weakness including hemi or monoparesis, and also ataxia and seizures. So the progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy have changes or in the cells of the astrocytes or oligodendrocytes, and we saw what are the changes that occur in the astrocytes. They become enlarged, deformed, and they have bizarre nuclei. The oligodendrocytes, again, they become enlarged, densely staining nuclei are present. Then we have viral inclusions by crystalline arrays of JCV, visual deficits, homonymous hemianopia, mental impairment like dementia, confusion, weaknesses are present, and then we have ataxia and seizures. Clinical features and pathology, again, the underlying immunosuppressive disorder receiving immunomodulatory therapy. So it's important, usually chronic encephalitis, progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy usually is associated with patients who are immunocompromised, who are immunosuppressed, or who are on immunomodulatory therapy. Associated conditions like AIDS in 80% of the patient is present, hematological malignancies in 13%, transplant recipient 5%, and chronic inflammatory diseases in 2%. So usually patients who have chronic encephalitis, they are the patients who are immunocompromised. So 80% patients who have this chronic condition, they have AIDS with this, in which the immune system is really very compromised. Then the lack of detectable JCV antibody is present. Risk of developing PML or progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy. If there is lack of antibody present, antibodies are for the protection. So if these antibodies are less, they are more prone to infection. JCV seropositive prior immunosuppressive therapy received more than 24 months of natalizumab. PML cases treated with MS, multiple sclerosis, and inflammatory bowel disease. Those receiving humanized antibodies with immunomodulatory activity like ifalizumab and rituximab. Similar features in HIV-associated PML and PML associated by drugs. Natalizumab associated PML, which is clinical and radiographic worsening of lesion, is seen in patients who have PML associated with natalizumab. With discontinuation of the treatment, usually there is development of IRIS. MRI is reveals, when MRI is done, it reveals multifocal asymmetric coalescing white matter lesions. So the lesions that coalesce combine together to form one big lesion. So that is present on MRI, located ventricularly around the ventricles in centrum semi-oval. In parietal, occipital region and cerebellum, increased signal on T2 and FLAIR images and decreased signal on T1 weighted images. So these are some specific features of MRI done in patients with PML. They show the small lesions that coalesce to form big in the white matter, present paraventricularly, also in parietal occipital region, in cerebellum, and the increased signal is present on T2 and FLAIR images, and decrease on T1 weighted images. Diagnostic studies. HIV PML lesions, classically they are non-enhancing. Immunomodulatory drug associated PML, peripheral ring enhancements. These are special features associated with these conditions. If it's associated with HIV infection, we have non-enhancing lesions. If they are with the immunomodulatory drug therapy associated, there is peripheral ring enhancement present. If it's a PML lesion not liked with edema or mass effect. CT scans show hypodense, non-enhancing white matter lesions. So these are some other diagnostic studies and how the picture will appear. Next, CSF is cerebrospinal fluid is normal. Mild elevation of protein level present. IgG is also mildly elevated. Pleocytosis in less than 25% of the cases. Predominantly, it's mononuclear cells present, rarely exceed 25. So usually it's less than 25. In 25% of the cases less than, and usually cells do not exceed 25 cells per microliter. Next, some other diagnostic studies. We have polymerase chain reaction amplification of JCV DNA from cerebrospinal fluid, typical MRI lesions, negative CSF PCR in not exclude the diagnosis. So if polymerase chain reaction is negative, it doesn't mean that there is no infection. Heart-treated patients, the sensitivity is closer to 60% of heart-treated patient and lower JCV CSF viral load. Brain biopsy, another diagnostic test. Patients who have negative polymerase chain reaction, brain biopsy is done for definitive diagnosis. JCV antigen and nucleic acid detection, immunocytochemistry, in situ hybridization, and PCR amplification. These are the tests for JCV antigen and nucleic acid detection. Some serological studies that can be done on the serum, they have no use in the diagnosis due to high basal seroprevalence level. May contribute to risk stratification in patient contemplating therapy with immunomodulatory drugs like we mentioned natalizumab. No effective therapy, and usually we have 5-HT2A receptor antagonist, which is mirtazapine. Treatment with interferon alpha therapy to enhance or restore immunocompetence. HIV positive treated with heart therapy and monitoring for development of IRIS. That was all about section 3. Thank you for watching Scardia.com.